All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live YouTube talk. I come on live every Thursday, 99.9% of the time at 7 o'clock here in the Pacific Northwest. So today I'm going to be talking about mental kickbacks and how perfectionism can hijack your intuition. And I'm going to talk a little bit more as well about there's some things going on up at the galactic level and underneath the earth level. But the big thing that's really blocking us from expanding into that level of consciousness is mental energy and perfectionism. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. If you're new to my channel, my name's Nancy Rebecca. I am a retired registered nurse who had an out-of-body experience, and now as a clairvoyant, I can see energy fields, and I love to teach people about their energy field, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be talking about what does perfectionism and mental energy look like in your energy field. So, yes, Randy, I'm grateful everyone's here, and yes, we are stronger together than we ever have been apart. So hello, everyone from our international community. It's been feeling a little bit, it's been very emotional. So a lot of people are really talking about those emotions. And I understand that that's the influence of Jupiter and Cancer. And so I've been learning a little bit from my friends who are astrologists, as well as tuning in to Pam Gregory. So hello from Southern Oregon and hello from Zurich, Switzerland, Marin County, California, Virginia Beach. Hi, Nelson, BC, Quebec, Canada. Yes, lots of purging. We're going to do more purging today of mental energy and perfectionism. So, are you someone who can't stop thinking, overanalyzing, striving to get everything just right before you can even take a single step? You might think that you're being responsible, but what if I told you that it's actually your perfectionism and your mental looping that's actually blocking the voice of your spirit? And this is a really important conversation that we need to have today, because things are moving so rapidly that we just can't have our foot on the gas pedal and the brake at the same time. And that's exactly what mental energy does. And perfectionism, it's putting on the brake while you're trying to move forward. So today I'm going to talk about what that looks like from a clairvoyance perspective in your energy field, and how to gently break the cycle so that your wisdom can finally shine through. So let me first begin by diving into what is the real truth. And the real truth is your mind is brilliant. Your mind is incredible. Your mind is amazing, but your mind is not your spirit. So many can believe that you can think your way out of every emotional and spiritual challenge. And this is why mental energy this week and the past few weeks is at an all-time high, because we're kind of in this emotional kind of eruptive flood that's coursing through our veins, as well as everybody else. Everybody's on emotional high alert. And so what can happen is it can really trigger your mind saying, why am I sad? Why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling jealous? What's going on? And it's like your mind will go into rapid fire, so that, guess what? You don't have to feel what you're feeling. And it can interfere with higher levels of consciousness and intelligence that's coming through, because you're like, I just can't conceive of this. My mind can't conceive of this. So of course, if your mind can't conceive of something, then it's not real, right? And so we believe that if we just analyze enough, get all the steps right, perfect the plan, that we will find peace of mind. But in reality, the overactive mental energy can become the very thing that blocks your and our deepest wisdom. So let me just talk a little. I'm just going to do a little honorable mention of the blue light. I haven't talked about it. I've talked about it on YouTube and interviews and things like that, but I haven't really talked about it in the live videos for a while. So the blue beings of light are still around. They're in the room with me. And I checked in with them this morning because when it hit me that I hadn't really touched in to kind of what's happening, had the finger on the pulse, and the blue light being said, everything's on track. Everything's on track. And I'm like, well, you're all seeming kind of calm about all this, even though we may not feel calm when we watch the news. They're just like, everything is on track. They're very content with how things are rolling out when it comes to consciousness and the upliftment of humanity. But then I was shown that up above at this kind of galactic level, so we'll say in outer space, that's very active. It's very active in this way, like I can actually feel it above my head. So if you're feeling like this little crackles of electricity, that can be, thousands and thousands of miles up in outer space. But it's active up there as there's some galactic unfolding that's happening. And so it's like we're going to have some greater conscious awarenesses about our galactic maybe families and the star beings. So what can happen is when we're rapidly rising in consciousness, your mental capacity and your perfectionism can kick into overdrive. And it's like, la, 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 la. So you just can't really grasp what else is going on. And so the mental energy really starts fighting big time and it becomes more active because it wants to remain in the driver's seat of your car. So this is what we're going to address today so that those higher levels of intuitive information that you already have are going to be able to come through. Now, here's the other thing that the blue light beings kind of showed me this image of underneath the earth. So, as above, so below. And so it's like a mirror image. And I remember someone was saying, like, in the underworld, how do earthly beings, earth angels exist under there? Because it's just a lot of dirt. And I said, well, that's what your mind tells you, right? Your mind tells you who could live under there. It's like dirt. But when I've been shown it, it's like it still has a sky. It still has a sun. They still have rivers and lakes and trees in the underworld levels of our existence, of that kind of united existence. But it's our mind and our perfectionism that says that's not possible. So how many times have you all said in your life, that's not possible? That's not possible. It's not possible. And so, yeah, there's a lot going on. And so, sorry, I'm just seeing some of the notes. So let me just jump in here because there's a lot of blue light that's coming to the earth. When I'm seeing the blue plasma now, if I just kind of look at the globe, more of the focal points are where there is civil unrest, unrest around wars and things like that. So there's a lot of the blue plasma. The blue plasma, if you will remember, is full of light codes. And in those light codes are full of high levels of knowledge and wisdom. So if the blue plasma, let's say it's coming to Los Angeles or to Syria or Sudan or to the Ukraine or wherever there is civil unrest that's happening in different parts of the world, it's almost like delivering a package of other options and other ways of looking at things. And so when I was in Egypt, I'm going to take a little detour for just a moment because I'm going to talk about this in another talk. But when I was in Egypt, I woke up and in front of me was this 12-sided circle. and it was just kind of spinning in front of me. And I asked my higher self, what's going on? And the information that I received is for everything that you look at in life, you have 12, it has 12 sides to the story. 12 sides to the story. So let's say that you're looking at an issue either at home or at work, or you're in school, or you're looking at the news and you're thinking there's only one way this is going to happen and it's going to be disastrous. That's one panel of the 12 paneled circle. And so it's really got me thinking, so if that's one way, then what's another way to look that has an outcome, and another way, and another way, and another way? So the reason why I mention this is because sacred geometry is really coming in. It really wants to come through your own spirit, your own frequency, but your mind is like, shut that door. It's almost like it doesn't, your mind still wants to remain in charge. Okay. Well, it's not a circle. So Polly, you're going to have to read between the lines. It's a dodecahedron or something like that. It has a name. So you can go look it up under geometry and then come back and tell me what the 12-sided circle. It looks like a circle with points to it. Okay. So someone said, give us a real life example. So give me a minute. All right. So as a clairvoyant, I can see the human energy field and the human energy field that is your life. So when I had an office and I would do readings that people would come through to have a session, I want to let you know every single person that came into the room had a bright aura. Every single one of you. Thank you, Carrie. It's a dodecagon or dodecagron. Anyway, so when you come in the office, you're bright. You're going to have bright colors. Oh, wow, your aura is really red today, or it's orange, or wow, you've got a lot of green and blue going on. Oh, this is a beautiful silver or diamond light that's coming off of you. But if I don't say that and I just ask the person how they're doing, it's like, I'm doing terrible. I feel terrible. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I have a lot of fear about the future. So those body feelings, that body mind, can override your ability to feel the light of your own soul. And so I'll see your energy field like a blinding light, no matter what's going on for you in your life. Now, your light might be like a bright sun above your head, or it might be, your light may be on the outside of your aura, and I'll see it all light here, and I'll see a lot of mental perfectionism here. I might see a lot of your light in the back or in the front, on the sides. I may see your bright light in one of your chakras, but not in all of your chakras. I can see metal bands that go around your head that can be really tight and heavy, where the mental energy is squeezing. And so a lot of people are talking about headaches right now, that you're trying to conceive of. There's a lot of ways that your mind is shifting in consciousness and causing a lot of headaches. So on the outside, on the inside, you can feel emotionally and mentally stuck, anxious, sad, confused, angry, blaming, shaming, or you can even feel unworthy of even existing or wish that you were anywhere else other than on Earth. Yet in the unseen world, you are a brilliant light. But the biggest block right now in the human energy field is perfectionism and mental energy. It is at an all-time high because of our ability to be tapped into the World Wide Web. So let's say that before television and before phones and all this stuff, it's like you may think your body's really beautiful. And we hear this all the time. And then you see all these pictures on the internet, and then you start to compare, and then you don't think that you have a beautiful body. Or when you get to see people who are super smart, like for me, I think, why should I even be talking about quantum physics? Because I'm just this wee little person over here that is trying to figure it out like the rest of us. And then I'll see some brilliant mind in quantum physics, and it's like, I don't know that I would ever um, be able to grasp that. That's my mind. You're never going to be able to grasp that, Nancy, ever. You don't have a degree in quantum physics. And these are the things that can get in the way of you really realizing what a bright soul you are, how incredibly smart you are, and how if you will just let the information, the intuitive information come to you, it can really help guide you through all the speed bumps in life. So this happens even more intensely with perfectionism. Oh, sorry, I missed my line. Oh, I missed a big line. All right, I'm gonna take a. So it was the biggest part of my talk. Probably my mind wanted me to take a detour. Okay. So when I tuned in and I asked Spirit, what message do you wish to bring through today? I was shown a very colorful, vivid image of an old-fashioned pinball machine. You are the soul standing at the controls. All the bells and whistles and lights are flashing, sounds chiming. It's exciting because you're about to launch the ball of your spirit into the game of life. But here's where it gets tricky. Instead of letting your spirit move fluidly through the field, collecting wisdom, scoring those intuitive hits, dancing in joy, your mental energy starts flipping those levers. Every time your spirit tries to land something meaningful in your life, like an intuitive hit, an emotional release, or a divine knowing, your mind slaps it back up out of the field by clicking that lever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Are you all familiar with pinball machines? Every time your spirit tries to land something meaningful, so I said that, slaps back, rejected. Your mind's like, reject, doubt, let's dissect this. Your spirit's pushing out of the way, trying to push your mind out of the way with its need to understand, control, and fix. Do any of you have issues with overthinking, overanalyzing, dissecting, processing? And if you've dissected and processed your life, then you start helping people all around you dissect and process their life. Yeah, mental energy all-time high. But this happens even more intensely with perfectionism. So for me, perfectionism, when I'm looking in your energy field, this is how perfectionism looks as a psychic clairvoyant. It looks like this heavy glass, like a glass paperweight. So, like those paperweights, you'd sit on the desk, it's going to be nice and clear, it's heavy. And on the inside, I was imagining like this Gerber daisy flower, red, colorful, but it is sealed tight inside this paperweight of solid glass. So it shows up as a glass paperweight, smooth, sealed, heavy. It might even have that beautiful preserved flower on the inside, but it's frozen in time. Nothing new can get in. Everything has to go through your perfectionism filter. Being a perfect mother, being a perfect father, being a perfect partner, being a perfect healer. If something doesn't meet that internal blueprint, guess what happens on the pinball machine? Reject. It hits that flipper again and throws that intuitive hit out of bounds again. So here's So it totally rejects it. So here's where psychology and energetics align. I was really curious about this. So I looked it up about what psychology says around mental energy and perfectionism. So psychologists call this maladaptive perfectionism. Did you even know that was a word? Maladaptive perfectionism is the number one leading cause of anxiety, depression, and chronic dissatisfaction in life. All right. Now, for me, I see perfectionism as a subcategory of fear. So it makes sense, right? So, um, boy, I'm just really missing. I think my, I think my spirit, my mind are showing, want to show me how imperfect I can be giving this talk today because I keep losing my place. So, if you're someone that has to mentally process everything, running thought after thought after thought, that's called cognitive overprocessing. Did you know they had a word for that? Cognitive overprocessing or rumination. It's exhausting. It keeps you stuck in your head and out of your heart. So, what's the energetic cost to you? Well, your human energy field then becomes rigid. Your crown chakra clamps down where your spirit is trying to come into your body. Your heart gets shielded and covered because what's your mind saying? You're going to get hurt. 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 Your solar plexus tightens up. That's your power center. You are disempowered. You're giving all your power to your mind. Your spirit's still sending you signals in the forms of symbols, images, emotional nudges, sacred sounds, and light codes, but those signals have to go through that filter of glass. It's just not able to. It can't cut through all that perfectionism. It just bounces off through judgment and through doubt. Eventually, though, something breaks. You realize I can't think my way through this awakening process. And then you can maybe try to feel your way through it. But here's where the real wisdom comes through. Now, this is this cycle that I've seen with a lot of clients. Okay, now I just want you all to know in full honesty and full authenticity, being real. When I was in psychic school, I won the award for having the most perfectionism of any energy field they had ever witnessed. So I know what it's like. When my spirit told me I needed to start making YouTube videos, and I was having lunch with friends yesterday, and they were having a good laugh about how it took 6 people to encourage me to make that one video. And we'd shut off the camera and turn it on and shut it off. And they're like, you can do this. You can do this. And it was horrible. And the first time I went to make a YouTube video, for those of you who are considering, I counted how many takes I did. 65 for a 10-minute video. I'd say, hello, everybody. Oh, that sounds stupid. Off. Okay, hi, my name's Nancy. Off. I'm going to talk to you about, what am I going to talk about today? Off. I counted 65 takes. In the video, I still felt it wasn't worthy of going live on YouTube. And I made myself post it anyway. And it was just this eventuality that I was able to, now I can run in, sit at the desk with my cup of coffee, and I can be ready to go. And if I get it wrong, if I lose my place on the paper, I don't feel like I'm going to die anymore, right? So this is what I want to share with you. We don't have time for overanalysis paralysis. We don't have time for over perfectionistic ways, because in the spirit world, we're already considered beautiful. We're already considered so wise and so expansive. So, I want to share with you a recent story. So, I don't know if you know this, but when you have all your friends and family on your email list, right? So, you can type in, you're going to type in a letter, it automatically fills in, they're on your list. Well, when you're running a business, you have a mailing list. And I don't know if you know this or not, but if somebody wants to do a podcast or they want to talk to you or they want to interview or whatever, they want to know how many people's on your mailing list. So if I say, "Oh, I have 200 people on my mailing list," like they wouldn't really want to talk to me. So, okay, so now I have this mailing list. Did you know that on the mailing list, we have to pay another company to host your mailing list? And every time our mailing list builds, builds up, we get billed. We have to pay more and more and more. And I won't even tell you how much we have to pay every year. Okay, so here's the thing. So we have this one company and their prices really have skyrocketed. It's the one we're working with. And then we have this other new company that's coming in. And so we went to compare the pros and cons of each. Like we have this big meeting. So it's been going on for a couple of months now. It's like, what should we do? The deadline's August 1st, blah, 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 blah. So we're trying to think, in perfectionism, our mind is into it. Okay, what does this mean? They're offering this, but their price is this, their price is that, right? So are you kind of getting what I'm saying? And then finally, I said to Yvonne, I think we just need to put the perfectionism and the over analysis paralysis and reading through all they're offering. We just need to put it aside. We need to get together and we need to look at it energetically from an intuitive perspective. And it was kind of like, oh yeah, duh, that's what we do for a living. And that's exactly what we did. We did a full reading on one of the companies. And then Kathy and Yvonne and I did a full reading on the other company. And it was a no-brainer. When we did the intuitive reading, it was a no-brainer. We knew exactly. We didn't even have to look at their list anymore. We knew longevity-wise which was the more robust company because we plan on growing, right? So, and it is the more expensive one. But this is what I'm trying to say. If you're not making that leap, what I'm trying to say is we can spend months mentally analyzing everything to death. But if you will just take time to put that aside and tune into your intuition, you're going to get greater clarity and you may not understand, okay, that's not making sense. That's not making any sense. But then when you go ahead and follow your intuition, then a lot of good things can happen that you hadn't anticipated. Now, before you just say, okay, I'm going to listen to everything intuitive, sometimes you'll have an intuitive hit, but it means you're supposed to wait a couple of years before you do it. So if it's a big decision, I always encourage people, don't just leap in unless it's a really strong imprint. Okay. Where am I? Okay. All right. So today I'm going to invite you to consider this. What would happen if you didn't need to be perfect? What if you let the ball of your spirit roll freely through your life, and the ball is your spirit, flow freely through your life, even if it gets messy? What if the lights and sounds of the pinball machine weren't distractions, but invitations to let go and let the wisdom of your own soul lead you? Because this is how I've noticed that it goes. You're perfect, perfect, perfect until you can no longer carry the paperweight, mental energy, and the energy field looks like metal. It can look like liquid mercury. It can look like rebar. It's just metal, metal, metal. We're going to do a meditation to release both of those. But here's what I've noticed when I've worked with people is that you get to a point in your life where you just can't do it anymore. You're crushed under the weight of your own perfectionism and your mental energy. And then it does get messy. And then you can let it get messy, and then you can laugh and you can say, I'm not perfect and I don't give a rip anymore. And I'm just going to live life big and large and light and bright. Or you've got the pieces on the floor. And I've done this before, where I start grabbing those pieces rapidly and trying to put them together again. I'm trying to create another perfectionistic form with a lot of mental energy. And I might be looking around saying, I hope no one saw that I just lost it. That was my life 30 years ago. And you can only do that so many times before it's like, all right, white flag comes out, right? White flag, I surrender. I don't have energy. I'm anxious all the time. I'm depressed. I don't want to be around people. It's just all of those things. So I am going to throw in here, though, in 2 weeks on the summer solstice, I have a big group reading, and you really want to shift your stuff. The registration is below. Okay. Are you all ready for a meditation? I like that, Barbara. When I'm working in a new area of growth, I let myself take baby steps. I love that. All right, so let's get comfortable. We're going to let go of some perfectionism today. Now, I do want to say about perfectionism that it does beautiful things to help you achieve and strive and have higher standards and want to be the best that you can do. But perfectionism is fear. Perfectionism is, I think I'm going to die if I don't do this perfectly. That's a whole different ballgame. So let's do that. So go ahead, take a moment to get comfortable, whether you're sitting in a chair, you're lying down. I like to kind of stretch my back a little bit. Close your eyes and start to bring your attention inside. And have a conversation for a moment with your body, because it's your body that suffers the consequences under the crushing weight of your mental analysis and perfectionism. So talk sweet to your body for just a minute and say, hey, what if I help you out here in this meditation to let go of a large chunk of the need to mentally figure things out, dissect, and to be perfect. Take a moment to inhale and exhale as you're talking to your body. And as you exhale, release just more tension. Your spirit, your soul, your higher self wishes to be a part of your life in a more engaging way, not just on the sidelines. There are so many incredible things coming down the pike in the next few weeks, the next few months. Your spirit wants and desires to be your guiding light. So let's start with some grounding first. You can imagine that you're this ancient oak tree that's thousands of years old, that has enormous root system. And part of that ancient oak goes deep down through the earth's crust, and then it may stretch out further to really help stabilize you. And then other parts of the ancient oak will dive deep all the way down to the magnetic core, and those roots will just wrap around with a core anchor to help stabilize you. Remind yourself of what today's date is. And how old you are, bringing yourself fully into this present moment. Ask your higher self, invite your higher self to be a part of your life, your soul, your partner, your support person, your ride or die friend. And ask, what color frequency of cosmic energy should I bring in? And maybe it's more than one color, to dissolve and cut through that really hard glass of perfectionism. And just then invite that frequency in to flow through your entire aura, so that that hard perfectionistic weight that you are carrying around starts to crack, shatter, crumble, and drain down those magnificent ancient oak tree roots. Just imagine that hard glass of perfectionism can easily and effortlessly turn to powder and just drain right down your grounding out of your aura. Now, mental energy, when I look into your aura, I can see how much mental energy you have, where I see it through my third eye sight as metal. Often I see it as a liquid mercury, but sometimes it's really hardcore, like solid steel or iron. And so now ask that incredible supportive soul of yours, what's the right color or colors of frequency to use right now that's going to melt all the mental energy that you are carrying the weight of in your own energy field? What frequency can come through, rinse through your auric field to dissolve and melt away the metal so that it can drain right down your grounding to be recycled by Mother Earth. Yep, there might be a lot of mental energy there. Try not to be perfectionistic around how much mental energy you have. Just let it liquefy and drain right down your grounding. Now, perfectionism and overanalysis paralysis does not know how to have fun. It doesn't. It doesn't know how to play. So, right now, let's have a little fun with your spiritual friend, your own soul. And let's imagine and pretend and be playful and outrageous, totally carefree, and no perfectionism applied at all. And imagine that you're standing in front of an old-fashioned pinball machine. The lights are glowing softly. The machine hums gently with energy, waiting for your spirit to engage with it. See yourself step forward, placing and resting your hands gently on the flippers. The ball representing your spirit is shining and radiant light. It's playful, it's wise, full of direction, and full of purpose. This ball of light is ready to move freely throughout the energy field of your life, collecting insight, hitting intuitive cues, and ringing the bells of spiritual truth. Remember when you pull that knob, that spring back, and you let it go, that ball of light releases. And you notice your habit, and the habit is wanting to mentally kick back. You want to push those mental levers and flip them around automatically. Suddenly you find yourself analyzing, doubting, perfecting, and each time your spirit drops a message into your awareness, your mind kicks in and backs up so that you can process more. And you may not even realize you're doing it. So now step back, take a breath, set the mental levers down, and let the pinball rest. Let the energy pause. Breathe into that space, that mental trigger. Ask yourself, what if I don't need to be perfect? What if everything I need is already inside me without overthinking, fixing it, or polishing it? Now bring your awareness to your heart center and imagine like a flower opening in soft, natural perfection, that you're not going to need to force anything. You can allow the petals of your heart to unfold gently. And now allow your higher wise self to move into place, front and center. Melt away the tightness in your head. Melt the overthinking. Soften your jaw. Unclench your mind. Now your spirit, just like that pinball, can move freely, not bouncing around in panic. But now go ahead and pull that lever back and allow that ball of light to flow through, landing gently on every mark, every nudge, and your inner voice can hear and feel and sense your connection with your soul. You are in full alignment. Now imagine that pinball, the light of your soul, that little bright light has a message for you. Go ahead and pull back the lever. Allow the message of your spirit begin moving through the pinball machine to deliver you a message. It may come in a word, an image, a feeling, but you're not going to use those mental levers to kick it back out. You're going to let that beautiful light message flow through you. You may not get a message, but you will have a felt sense of deep peace. You may feel lighter. Allow the light within you to rise. Allow yourself to receive it. Even if your mind is saying you're not getting it, you just let yourself receive it anyway. Step back away from the pinball machine. Be in gratitude for the healing you've allowed yourself to receive today of releasing perfectionism and mental energy. Notice how you feel now compared to how you felt before you started this meditation. Be grateful for your body, your mind, and your spirit, and your emotions. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back into the room where you are. And then gently open your eyes and look around. So as we're wrapping up, welcome back, everyone. And I would love to read your comments and your experience, what it feels like releasing mental energy and perfectionism. And here's what I want to say as a clairvoyant psychic healer that has worked with thousands and thousands of human energy fields over 30 years. Healing mental energy and perfectionism is a lot easier than you think it is. Do you hear what I said? It's a lot easier than you think it is, because your mind wants you to think you can't heal that easily. Your mind wants you to think that you are stuck with the cards you've been dealt. Your mind wants you to think you are nothing without it, and none of that's true. And so just every day over the next few weeks, just stop for a moment when you feel like you're over and analyzing, and it's like, drop that down my grounding. And if you feel like you're trying to be perfectionistic, drop it down your grounding. And for me, what really helped is I became wildly imperfect, which would cause me to laugh. And then I would go back again and I would feel better. I didn't feel like I had to be perfect. But if any of you have ways that you have found to step out of the mind analysis paralysis, would you please post that in the comments section so you can help provide other people with other ideas? Or what about perfectionism? How did you get over that hump of perfectionism? So just to let you know, come join me at the summer solstice. The early bird registration is getting ready to close. Anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're always stronger together than we are apart. So when you're bringing hundreds of people together and we're focused on the same shifting, it's big. So whether you have, even if you've never done anything like that before, don't worry, you're going to be in good company. So again, this talk, mental kickbacks, perfectionism, hijacks, intuition. We've got a lot of galactic things happening. There's a lot of activity under the earth. There's a lot of blue light surging coming back in again. We want to grab hold of those high levels of wisdom that's available to help us navigate our life and our world right now. So thanks so much for popping on, and I will see you live next Thursday. Have a wonderful day, everyone.